This might be a shock to you, but the difference between a $2,000 per month designer and a $10,000 per month designer has very little to do with being the most talented. It's not about having the fanciest portfolio, and it's definitely not about having thousands of social media followers. Trust me, these are things that I used to believe were true. Back in 2019, I had just graduated as a fully self-employed freelance designer. I was barely making consistent income, let alone $2,000 per month, sitting in my newly leased house panicking about how I was going to afford rent. I was relying on one-off projects and Upwork to pay my bills. But fast forward to today, I'm making 5 figures a month as a self-employed designer, no longer relying on Upwork or one-off projects, and I teach other designers how to book high-ticket projects that go up to $10,000 plus. And let me reiterate that the reason most designers never get to this level actually has nothing to do with their portfolio or design skills. In this video, I'm going to break down what actually separates a $2,000 per month designer from a $10,000 per month designer. And more importantly, exactly what you need to get out of the $2,000 per month range and into those big, high-ticket, 5-figure project months. So let's get into it. Number 1, business mindset. $2,000 per month designers believe that they need to take any client they can to make ends meet, discount their services to secure work, and continuously work with difficult nightmare client projects because that's what they believe is the only way they're going to make money. $10,000 per month designers, on the other hand, choose clients carefully based on fit and personality. They know their value and they do not compromise on the price of their services. And they have the confidence to walk away from bad client projects, even when the pay is very good. I used to take on almost any and every client project that came my way. And sometimes I'd say yes to projects that weren't a good fit just because I wanted the money. However, I soon learned that the stress isn't always worth the pay, even if it's a 5-figure project. I found myself working with difficult clients, being unhappy, until I shifted my mindset and realized that I could turn down clients that I didn't feel like were a good fit. Once I started doing that, I kept attracting more and more dream clients who were aligned with my personality, which resulted in better projects, a happier work environment, and more referrals, bringing in clients that I genuinely wanted to work with. If you get stuck constantly working with clients and taking on every single project that you don't necessarily enjoy, you're going to build up a portfolio of random crap all over the place, and you're just going to keep attracting more and more of those difficult clients because your portfolio is set up to attract those type of clients. Say no to clients who aren't a good fit, work on passion projects, and only say yes to clients that you genuinely feel like are the right fit for you. And this is really hard to do at first, especially if you're a new designer and you're just trying to pay your bills. But I promise, once you step into your power and your confidence as a designer and realize that you have the ability to say no, you're going to find out that it's a lot easier to connect with those dream clients. The second key difference is strategic positioning. A lot of times, $2,000 per month designers position themselves as generalist designers that can do any and everything. Therefore, they fail to stand out, they blend into the oversaturated design market, and they're constantly positioning themselves as the cheaper, affordable option instead of trying to pitch themselves as the quality optimal choice. $10,000 per month designers, on the other hand, are specialists who solve specific business problems for high-ticket clients. They are strategic partners that focus on outcomes, not just a set of deliverables. And they're not afraid to talk money, and they're not afraid to say, hey, yeah, I'm more expensive than so-and-so over there, but I know how to get your business results. When I was attracting $500 clients and $1,000 clients, I'd often find that they were more difficult to work with because they were super hesitant about the investment, they were newer business owners, and they kind of just saw design as an expense rather than something that could actually bring their business a return. Whereas once I started attracting higher ticket clients, like in the $5,000 to $10,000 range, They saw design as a true investment. They knew that they were going to receive a return on their project. Therefore, they ended up being easier to work with. They trusted me as the expert, and my projects got better. I was going deeper on their business goals and pain points and working through real solutions, not just talking about what they wanted their logo to look like. Conversations with these lower budget clients are so different than conversations with high ticket clients because they're focused on two different outcomes. And if you want to bring in those high ticket months, you're also probably going to want to look into targeting clients who are ready for an investment, who understand the investment. When I switched from low budget clients to high ticket clients, so much of my business improved. The third key difference I want to focus on is long-term improvement. $2,000 per month designers typically stay comfortable in their current skill set. They don't necessarily seek out additional education because they already feel like they have the skills to do their job, and they kind of stop learning. They view learning as something they might do in their free time if they ever have free time. And sometimes they get stuck only focusing on their design skills instead of their business skills, when learning business skills is key to actually booking higher ticket clients. However, $10,000 per month designers invest in their skills and their knowledge. They invest in mentorship and learning from other educators or people who are ahead of them. They experiment with new tools and techniques. They view learning as a non-negotiable part of work. And they focus on business skills, not always design skills. Now, I know if you are newer to design and you're barely making ends meet, you can't possibly fathom the idea of investing your money into more education. But that's why you're here watching this video, right? There's YouTube, there's so many free resources online. There's our community at the Brief Collective. There's my podcast, The Unapologetic Designer. There are so many ways to spend time learning for free. But I will say, in my own personal experience, I've learned the most from investing in other educators and other courses to get more in-depth training, to get more in-depth feedback. And that is truly the thing that has 10x'd my business growth in the past. For example, during my first year as a designer, I was mostly doing one-off logos. And then I started learning about brand design and brand identity. And I wanted to deliver a better client experience because high-ticket designers should have a 5-star experience for high-ticket clients. And so I invested in a course from another designer that was all about the one concept method. And that completely changed my business. The first time I actually used the things that I learned in that training, my client approved everything with no revisions. That was my first $5,000 project. At that point in time, that was the highest project I had ever booked. And I was absolutely mind blown. And from there on out, I got comfortable investing in my business and investing in my education because I truly saw how it helped me become a better designer, a better business owner, and better serve my clients. So don't be afraid to keep on learning beyond just design skills. I also want to mention that a lot of times when I meet designers who are stuck in this $2,000 per month range, they're consistently relying on freelance platforms like Upwork and Fiverr and places that don't necessarily serve designers. They're more better fit to serve clients and give clients a really good deal. In turn, designers end up burning out. Whereas $10,000 per month designers do not rely on platforms like that, and instead they utilize things like attraction marketing, social media, content creation, in-person networking, and other avenues to acquire these high-ticket clients who look at design as an investment. The fourth difference I want to talk about is taking lead and being proactive. $2,000 per month designers are often in situations where they're just taking orders. They wait for clients to tell them what to do, and they're constantly just trying to make things to please their client. Whereas $10,000 per month designers are in charge of their process. They know what's going on, they know how to run things, and they set expectations with clients up front. And they deliver something to the client based on research and strategy, based on what they think is going to get the client's business results. They don't just sit there and wait for the client to say, ooh, I like this or I like that. High ticket designers are the experts in the relationship. They're not pixel pushers. During my first year, I worked with this one client on her website, and it kind of turned into a nightmare project because I didn't charge a lot for it, maybe like $500 or $800, and I let her run the show. I waited for her to give me feedback. I waited for her to tell me what she liked and what she didn't like. And that project ended up dragging on for weeks and weeks and weeks. That project probably should have taken about a week. And because I let the client be in control of our entire project and our entire relationship, it ended up costing me money in the long run. Like, I'm sure I didn't make a profit on that project. Whereas nowadays, as a high ticket designer, I tell my clients what to expect. I lay out the entire timeline. I have specific deadlines. And if they don't meet those deadlines, there are consequences. There are penalties. I write these things in my contract. And when I am working with these higher ticket clients, they respect that because I'm coming to the table as a professional service provider. High ticket clients are busy running their own business. They don't want to have to tell the designer they hire what to do. They want the designer to come in, be the expert, and say, hey, this is what's going to get your business results. Here's how we're going to work together. And that's a huge key difference between $2,000 per month designers and $10,000 per month designers. The fifth difference I want to talk about is having confidence and portraying confidence. $2,000 per month designers are constantly seeking validation from their clients, from family, from random friends, from people who probably don't even know anything about design, because they're just so concerned with making the client happy and they constantly second guess themselves. They also fear criticism and rejection from clients, and sometimes that leads them to over deliver and give the client 3 different concepts when the client only needed one solid concept. Whereas $10,000 per month designers make a decision with confidence and stick to it. They have difficult conversations, even if it's harder for the client to hear. They push back. So what I mean by that is I've had clients sit there and say, hey, can we use this color in the brand, or can we change this to this? As a high ticket designer that's guiding my client, if I think it's a bad decision, I'm going to say, hey, I know that this is what you want, but I actually don't think that that's going to work for your business, and here's why. And I'm not afraid to do that because that's why the client is hiring me. They are hiring me for my expertise, not just to make a set of pretty things and hand it over to their business. And here's the other thing. When you do that, when you act like that, when you have confidence and you back it up with a strategy, clients are going to trust you more and they're going to let you lead more. And you're going to end up creating some of your best work because you're showing up to the table with confidence and backing it up, guiding clients down the path they need to be guided down, instead of just following orders and doing whatever they want and making something for their business that realistically probably isn't going to grow their business. It's just making the client happy. I want to reiterate that a lot of these key differences and things discussed in this video are all focused around business skills, confidence, mindset, and client communication. None of this was about design skills. So there you have it. These are the key differences that separate $2,000 per month designers from $10,000 per month designers. And like I said, very little of these things actually relate to design skills. Now, a lot of people know about these things. A lot of designers know about these key differences, but they struggle to actually implement them and build these skills into their business. And that is why we created Design Biz Academy University. Inside DBA, we don't just teach you theory, we teach you a proven framework that hundreds of designers have used to go from struggling $2,000 per month designers to booking $11,000 projects. And the best part is our DBA program is only 3 months long, meaning in 3 months or less, you can come into our program not knowing how to book high-ticket clients and book your first $5,000 client before you even graduate. Our student Veronica literally did this. So I'm not just making this up. This has actually happened in our program. That being said, our Design Biz Academy University is by application only. It's a high-level program, and we only accept A-player designers who are truly ready to do the work in order to get these type of results. If that sounds like you and you're ready to go all in on your business and become a high-ticket designer, you can click the link in the description. Please make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed this video or felt like you learned something, and subscribe for more graphic design business content, tips, and education. Click here to watch our video on everything we've learned over the past 6 years as being graphic designers.